Hi friends, we're going to do lesson 7, and this is, we're going to demonstrate the cumulative property of multiplication and practice related facts by skip counting objects in array models. Okay, so I want you to make 4 rows of 2. 4 rows of 2. So I need to make 4 rows. Okay. And I don't need that much. 4 rows of 2. Okay. Now we're going to skip count to find the total. So 2, 4, 6, 8. So 8 is our total. Okay, so we're going to have a total of 8, and now let's write a multiplication sentence that goes with this. So how many rows do we have? So the first factor we have will always be rows. I'm going to change my color here. Will always be rows. That's orange. Okay. 4 times, and how many, you can say how many in each, or you can say, look at it differently, and it's columns. Okay. So if you see this in green, there are actually 2 columns. Okay? Okay, so 4 times 2, we said, equals 8. Okay, so our total is the answer. That's the product. Okay? Well, I want to know if I rotate it, if I say, okay, so we have rows and columns, and the total. Okay, so if I said I want to rotate it, so I want to put the 2 here, and I want to put the 4 here. Does it equal the same? Let's find out. So I'm saying 2 rows. So I'm going to make 1, 2. I made 2 rows, and I'm going to put 4 in each row. Okay? I mean 4, and we have 4. What are these? Not just in each row. We can look at it that way, but we also can say columns. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that's also the number in each row, but it's also, if you look at it, the columns. So now we're going to skip count. Okay, so there's 4 here, and 4 more is 8. So the total is 8. All right, so let's ask this question. Did the answer change? Did our product change? Nope, they're still the same. No matter which way you look at it, it's still the same. We usually start with rows at the beginning and columns, so if you switch the numbers, it doesn't change anything. So you can turn it around. That's what cumulative is. Okay? All right, let's try one more. Okay. All right. So if I said 8 rows of 2. 8 rows of 2. Okay, So I'm going to draw 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, 8 rows of 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Let's skip count. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, and 16. So we have, remember we start with rows, and then we have columns, and then we have the total. Okay, so how many rows do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 times, and then how many columns? 1, 2. Okay, so we have 2 columns, which equals, how many do we have all together? 16. Okay, so now I'm going to rotate it. I want to say 2 times 8 is 16. Let's see if that's correct. So we remember these are rows and these are columns, and this is the total. Okay, so we have 2 rows. 1, let's see, I'm going to put this over here so you can see it. 1, 2 rows. And then we can say we have 8 in each, or we can say we have 8 columns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So let's skip count. 2, 4, 6, 8. Or we could actually go, instead of doing it that way, we can go 8 and 6. 8 plus 8 is 16. So our total is 16. So that is true. 8 times 2 equals 16, and 2 times 8 equals 16. Okay. All right, so now what we're going to do is, let's go over our notes really quick. All right, so we talked about rotating the array. So we just did that. Skip count is a great way to find the total. If you can remember to skip count, okay? Columns are vertical groups. Think of columns as vertical groups. So this is a group, okay? So commutative property, our factors can switch places and rotate meanings, but the total stays the same. Okay, and we did another example. So those are in my notes that you can have. I'll post those on my webpage. Okay, now let's go into our lesson 7 exit ticket. Now there are no notes, just the exit ticket. Okay, so we're going to read this first. 2 times 5 equals 5 times 2. Okay, so remember we started off with rows. Okay, and then we said, oops, sorry, this is rows in orange. Then we said columns. Okay, and again, this one right here is going to be columns, and this one right here is rows. Okay, so do you agree or disagree with the statement above? And yes, I agree. Draw arrays and use skip counting to explain your thinking. Okay, so just like what we just did in our notes, we're going to do the same thing. Okay, so the first thing is we're going to take 2 times 5. 2 times 5. So that's rows and columns. Okay? So I need 2 rows of 5, and I'm going to double check to make sure my columns, we have 5 columns, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. Okay, now I want to skip count. So here's 5, 10. So my total is 10. So all together is 10. So 2 times 5 equals 10. And that's again my total. Okay. Now what we want to do is go 5 times 2. Okay, so remember we change it so that there's 2 columns now and 5 rows. Okay, so I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 rows, and we have 2 columns. Okay, so 1, 2, and we fill it all the way down to the bottom. Okay, so we circle our columns. Okay, now we can skip count. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay, so all together is our total, which is 10. Okay, so 2 times 5 equals 5 times 2, because 2 times 5 is 10, and 10 equals 10. Okay, there you go. Kiss your brain, friends. Nice job. Keep up the good work.